Warm welcome to all of you who have come from across Europe and made the journey to Brussels this morning. I'm very grateful for this invitation and very humble. That is because I truly admire your talent and what many of you do in your day-to-day jobs, inspirations, ideas, the ones that you bring to life, because I learn from you, and I try as often as possible to listen to you in order to make sure that what we do in the European Parliament makes sense. It is very fitting that we meet here today. This is the place where the first World Fair after the war took place. And I mention this because the theme of that fair, known as the Expo 58, was to inspire faith in technical and scientific progress. Some of you that know me, I like to say that I'm a tech optimist, and I like to believe that we have the right components for Europe to become a world leader in science and technology. In some areas, I think we already enjoy a competitive edge, but our objective as policymakers must be to unleash Europe's full potential. If you look and if you boil down the main priorities of the European Commission, you would see that they are focused on climate and tech. But we cannot deliver either net zero nor European technological sovereignty without innovation. So in some cases, this means that we need to be attracting major global players to Europe when it comes to chip manufacturers, to new space operators, major platforms, to biotech. But it also, I believe, means creating the conditions for entrepreneurs and innovators to get their ideas off the drawing board and to scale them globally. I think we should look back at the pandemic. So many of the solutions, apps, medtech innovations were developed by entrepreneurs and startups, but it took the multinationals to roll out the vaccines at the pace at which they did. So I do think that we need both to build a strong ecosystem that benefits all sectors, all demographics, and indeed all member states and citizens. So here in Brussels, I see our role as not to be the ones to pick sides or winners or champions, but to make sure that AI, VR, quantum, nanotechnologies are not going to be created in one of the committees that has a complicated name, as Jennifer mentioned, in the European Parliament or in one of the buildings of the European Commission. Nor should we be working on regulation that stifles innovation. I think that we can have the best regulated tech sector in the world, but without having a stake, global market share, I think we'll be simply whistling in the wind. I see it as our role being to break down barriers, to create new opportunities, to harness the potential economies of scale that only the EU can offer. So in short, I like to call it regulation for innovation. It is the motto to which I stand when I work in the European Parliament. It is also an annual conference that I put together in Brussels because I think it's important, definitely, not to over-regulate what is to me very often an inspiring and prosperous sector such as yours. So today I want to very briefly mention three priorities that I think are important. They're not the only one. They're not the only ones that can create success, but definitely can help your companies to grow. The first one is related to unleashing the full potential of the single market. The second one to financing innovation and startups. And the third, are we really able to see the big picture when it comes comes to skills and talent. So the single market, as much as it might sound not very appealing, has been one of Europe's greatest achievements. But in order for companies to be able to reap its full benefits and potential, I think it's vital that our body of tech regulation fits together seamlessly like a jigsaw. After decades of laws, that aim of reducing fragmentation and friction across borders, I think it is now time to comprehensively assess where we can eradicate unnecessary or burdensome red tape, especially when it comes to SMEs and startups. In Europe, we like to think of SMEs and startups as the backbone of our economy. However, in the same time, without access to financing opportunities, I am pretty sure that their full potential cannot be reached. So we don't just need new ideas, we need to find new ways of how to fund those ideas. Today, I believe you will hear about remarkable initiatives that the European Union has created, from the European Innovation Council to Horizon, but how we fully and effectively harness the power of private investment, I believe, has to be the next big step. We can propel EU tech through incentives, through opportunity, through capital markets, and rethink how we approach risk. Just one example, compared to the US, the EU pension funds are an underutilized way of funding European future technologies. Our traditional investment strategies, I believe, have to evolve, and Europe needs to become more open to venture capital investments. But for this, we need to create a regulatory and business environment that enables innovation and startups to secure a major slice of the global private investment pie. And finally, the last point is the power behind any tech or economic transformation, and this is its people. I think the building blocks of aspiration and talent can begin in our societies, in our environment, sometimes even in the classroom. So the European Union has to create world-class schemes, such as the one we already have, like Erasmus. As we are home to renowned universities, I think we can be the ones shaping the educational system across all ages, which prepares young people for the 2050s and not for the 1950s. Innovation needs to be able to reach beyond the classroom, beyond the labs, beyond the offices, beyond the factories, and ideally it reaches each and every European. I would like us to think that we will be able to revolutionize, in a way, the way we learn and the way we teach. And this could be well done through various means, by utilizing every technological means we have at our disposal, be it artificial intelligence, metaverse, customized learning, interconnectedness. But I think only in this way we will be truly able to grasp that worldwide talent to bring its ideas to life here in Europe. I'm sure that today you'll be discussing many other ideas of how to make your ecosystem more prosperous, more visible, how to scale. So the suggestions I outlined could be just serve for you to think on them and elaborate and build on them. I just think that, going back to where we are today, capturing the spirit of the Expo 58, I hope that, you would leave this room today with optimism and confidence that you will be able, together with the support of the private and the public sector, to realize Europe's digital ambitions in the future. Thank you very much.